how hot yogis perform and demonstrate these impossible feats. This video may be a little outrageous for some of you. It's definitely a part of our hot yoga history. Now, this episode takes place at Yoga Revive in Marltown, New Jersey, where I just conducted three-hour master classes. At the beginning of each class, I do a 30-minute talk. So this talk is about not just the history of yoga, but the history of our lineage and Bishnu Ghosh's extraordinary yogic troupe. So let's head over to Yoga Revive, get started. Bishnu Ghosh created this yogic touring circus. So he had all his top guys, and Bikram was definitely part of that, and they're troupe, yogic troupe. And they would go around India and they would perform these outrageous yogic feats that would defy the laws of science. They also went into Japan because Bishnu Ghosh had an affinity for Japan and the Japanese culture and the discipline of the Japanese culture, bless you. And so they would perform these yogic feats, which is a common thing in India, and they would do it to show, it was very sensational, and they did it to show how you'd have the power over the mind and the body. The one guy, he would lay down on this platform, or lay down on like a cushion, and they took a platform over his chest, and an elephant would walk over his chest. 5 or 6 tons of pressure that no human being would ever be able to sustain. He would be crushed his rib cage instantly. But they would go into this meditative yogic state through a pranayama technique called Shatoli breathing, which was similar to the Kriya Yoga breath we talked about yesterday that Babaji did. That Babaji taught Yogananda, Yogananda taught Bishnu Ghosh, and that's how he came up with this breath. So they would get their body in such a state that they can maintain that weight. And then the elephant walk over the chest. They had a steamroller over the chest at one point, but elephant was even bigger and heavier. Then Bikram's thing, he would lay on a bed of nails. And that's how they're able to lay on the bed of nails and not be impaled, so the skin would stretch over the nails instead of the nails penetrating or impaling him. So he's laying on the bed of nails, put the platform over his chest, and Bishnu Ghosh's son Bishnu would ride a motorcycle over the platform while he's laying on the bed of nails. I have it on video. There was a show in the old days called That's Incredible. He's the only one old enough to know that show. You remember that? Oh, Leah's, yeah. You saw it? Yeah. I don't remember the day. That's pretty good. So Bishnu Ghosh had already died. This was like 1979, like a year or two before I met Bikram. And they brought the troupe on, and they did it up in Azuma Beach, which is a little bit north of Malibu, and they did the whole motorcycle on the chest. And then they did the elephant on the chest at Century Village. Not Century Village, that's Florida. Century City, which is in LA. And the one thing that they did, that it was too incredible for That's Incredible, and they didn't allow it, but I have it on video. They did it on a Japanese television show. Bishnu Ghosh's daughter would go again into this meditative state. They take out this huge sword about this long. It's like an Aladdin type sword. They cut a couple pieces of vegetables on it to show how sharp it is. The sword's on her stomach. She lays completely over the sword, so her body is completely sustained on the weight of the sword. Then Bishnu comes along, Bishnu Ghosh's son, and puts 5 bricks on her back, takes a hammer and smashes each brick onto her back. And then she gets up and there's just a crease. And people are like completely appalled. That's why they didn't do it on television, because it was too much. Pardon the interruption, but I had to chime in. Now, I've been showing these videos to my students since I moved to Florida in 1982. And subsequently, I showed them to every single live teacher training program that I did. We called it movie night. And every time, people, outrageous as they are, people say, why? Why is Bishnu Ghosh putting these yogic powers on display and having his students, and his children, by the way, performing these impossible feats? This is my opinion, why he does it. First of all, Bishnu Ghosh was a showman. He was a sensationalist. He loved the shock factor. But I believe his main intention was to show the power that the yogis had over their mind and their body through a particular breathing technique called Shatoli breathing, which I explained at Yoga Revive, by the way, that actually alters the physiology It allows the body to relax so that the nails, or in the case with Bishnu Ghosh's daughter, the sword, would stretch over the skin and not impale. Showing this extraordinary mastery over the body will then inspire people to practice yoga, to practice the yogic asana. So I believe his main intention, once again my opinion, was to show how powerful the yogic asana is, and pranayama, especially pranayama. And pranayama is just as much a part of asana and hatha yoga. Maybe even more so, especially back in the old days, 1,000 years ago with Ghosh. They were mostly practicing pranayama to slow the breath, to slow the heart rate, to relax the mind, to take control over the mind and the body. Very powerful techniques. So let's head back to Yoga Revive and continue. So this is where we come from, this sensational, and then that's where the competitions came in. So people say, well, the yoga competitions, that's not really yoga. It really isn't, but they would put on these competitions to promote the subject. And they would attract hundreds, if not thousands of people to come to watch it. I'm not an advocate of the competitions. I think if you have a demonstration, it might be a cooler way of expressing it, but that's what they were. And the reason why they did that was because of Bishnu Ghosh being involved in bodybuilding. Bodybuilding had all these competitions. So, and Bikram's wife Rajashree, when she came to this country, she wanted to bring the yoga competitions to America. So she was really the one behind it. Bikram really didn't care about it, but that was Rajashree's thing. So they still happen today. Did you ever do the competitions? Itzhak, I don't know if he won one year. Did he win one year? Yeah. I did teach him, I told you, the first time he straightened his leg in standing bow, I got him to do that. But he wasn't my student. Anyway, so now I come along 1980, and toward the late 1980s, I started doing workshops just like this at Bikram Yoga School studios. Welcome back. So as you can see, our lineage is very unique, and some may say outrageous. You can see where Bikram gets it from. Bishnu Ghosh not only was a showman, Bishnu Ghosh would take this troupe all throughout India and into Japan and perform these yogic feats, which I thought was extremely important to show you on my YouTube channel. So as promised, here's where I'm going to be in the next few months, January 17th in Delray, Florida at Hatha Yoga. It's a one-day workshop, 3 hours from 12 to 3. Then on January 23rd to the 25th, I'm going to be at Blissful Spirits in Albuquerque, New Mexico, doing three-hour master classes, very similar to what we were doing at Yoga Revive. And then in February, 2 level 2 teacher training programs, one at Steamtown Hot Yoga in Scranton and one at Yoga Solar in Selfoss, Iceland. I put links in the description below. So that's our episode for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell. Any questions or comments, which I may get on this video, put them down below. I'm happy to get back to you, and I will see you at the next video. Bye, everyone.